What is Silk Road? No, not the one that stretched from Europe across Asia, but the first online darknet market. Let's mine deep.
This is the greatest violation of the Eighth Amendment that I'm aware of.
It's time for the American people to wake up.
I think there was a lot in that case that smelled rotten to me, including the initial supposed allegations of murder for hire, but which the government didn't actually charge in the end.
When you look at the crazy sentence there and what actually happened, there's a lot of questions about Ross Ulbricht.
On January 27, 2011, the world witnessed the launch of the first online marketplace, allowing people to buy and sell goods and services without restriction. It was a website where people could buy anything pseudonymously, with little paper trail that could lead back to them. Motivated by a desire for a world free from institutional control, Ross Ulbricht created the Silk Road. Operating from 2011 to 2013, the Silk Road realized nearly $214 million in Bitcoin transactions. However, the FBI intervened, shutting down the website, seizing all the Bitcoin.
Well, just from Ross's, it was 177,000.
Oh, wow.
Leading to Ulbricht's arrest and multiple life sentences for a non-violent first-time offender. So what actually happened? Silk Road used two technologies to assure the user's anonymity: the Tor network and Bitcoin. Ironically, the Tor network was developed by the US Navy. Ulbricht personally coded the site and saw a developer on a Bitcoin forum publishing his email, a decision that would later come back and haunt him. You see, Ross started growing psychedelic mushrooms and selling them as a product on his new site. By 2013, you could buy anything imaginable on there.
There's two things you couldn't buy there. You couldn't buy guns because that was a different website, and you couldn't buy fake degrees. So no one could become a doctor, but you could buy literally whatever else you wanted. You could post things, drugs. You could buy heroin right from Afghanistan, the good stuff.
The anonymous Amazon evolved into a hub for drug dealers and buyers, sparking concerns among politicians and triggering government investigations. But Ross was inspired by libertarian economist Ludwig von Mises and opposed government interference in individuals' choices about what they put in their bodies. Your body, your choice. Later on, Ross adopted the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts and viewed Silk Road as his private ship. In spring of 2012, the FBI initiated an investigation into Silk Road, working extensively to unveil Ulbricht's identity and gather evidence. The FBI's strategy involved waiting for Ulbricht to make a mistake, focusing on catching him using his laptop while signed into the Silk Road website. In May 2013, coding errors on the site exposed vulnerabilities, and FBI agent Chris Tarbell managed to identify Ulbricht's computer, codenamed Frosty, and noticed simultaneous logins to Silk Road and Ulbricht's Google account whenever Dread Pirate Roberts accessed the site. To catch him off guard, agents orchestrated Ulbricht's arrest in a public place. And on October 1st, 2013, in a public library in San Francisco, a Homeland Security agent who was posing as a Silk Road staff member initiated communication with Dread Pirate Roberts on Silk Road. As Ulbricht logged in, a distraction was created by undercover agents. It was at that moment that Ulbricht turned his attention to the commotion, allowing another agent to grab his open laptop. It was then that Ulbricht was arrested and taken into custody.
The irony is that I made Silk Road in the first place because I thought I was furthering the things I cared about. Freedom, privacy, equality. But by making Silk Road, I wound up in a place where those things don't exist.
2 years later, on May 29, 2015, Ross was found guilty on 5 of the 7 charges.
There's more to losing your freedom. It's more than being locked in a cage and the devastation that brings to your family. Locking someone in a cage until they die, it's such a horrific thing to do to a person.
So why should you care? Ross Ulbricht does not deserve a life sentence for creating an online marketplace. As a nonviolent first-time offender, he is currently serving a double life sentence without parole, along with an additional 40 years. This harsh punishment stems from his involvement in an anonymous e-commerce website, a venture he pursued at the age of 26 out of passion for free markets and privacy. Sign the petition to free Ross Ulbricht. Don't miss Luke Rudkwoski Backstage. How is it like for you to cover Bitcoin as a journalist?
I've been talking about Bitcoin from the very, very beginning because I was friends with Max Kaiser, even before Bitcoin was kind of known to the world stage. And he was always talking to me about this, hey, crazy technology, Luke, you gotta get out of there. And I was like, you're a lunatic. It sounds like the one world government globalist currency. We'll see how it goes. Interesting idea. He's like, no! Max, I love him. He's crazy and awesome, and he's really doing really incredible things for the community as well. I always kind of talked about it from a very kind of interesting technological disruptive perspective, because from the early onset of Bitcoin, it was always adopted by institutions like the Free State, organizations and political philosophies that centered around decentralization, liberty, freedom, and personal responsibility. So that's what always attracted me to it and made me talk about it, made me look into it, and made me tell my audience, thank you, my audience, about it very early on.
And what was that moment that it clicked for you? Like, I know you said you were really good friends with Max Kaiser, but what is it, one thing that he said or something that you experienced that made you shift from the fiat world to like Bitcoin world?
It was Barack Obama, actually, not Max Kaiser. Drone bomber. Barack Obama said Bitcoin is giving people the power to have Swiss bank accounts in their pockets. And when he said that, I'm like, I want more. I want to get into. I want a Swiss bank account in my pocket. And he said that's something that people obviously. I forgot his exact words. This was many, many years ago. But he said something like, "People have too much power and authority. They shouldn't have that much." And I'm like, they should. They actually should have Swiss bank accounts. All the rich people have Swiss bank accounts. All the rich people don't pay taxes. All the rich people skirt all the regulations and all the rules and all the fucking taxes. This kind of equals the playing field and allows people to have liberty and finance without any government kind of oversight. Somewhat, but now it's all like fucked up and crazy and like mixed matched, and who knows what the hell's going to happen with Bitcoin, but we'll see.
And what are your theories on what's going to happen with Bitcoin?
I don't know. It could either be something that really liberates people, really frees people, but also something that is attacked by many powerful institutions. So there's a constant kind of swinging back and forth. It could be the Central Bank Digital Currency. It could be something that all the Federal Reserve banksters are kind of using as a way to push something that totally tracks, traces, and databases everybody. So I've always been on the kind of pendulum from the very beginning, from even finding about Bitcoin early on. I was like, there's good implications, there's bad implications, but it's a technology, and that's why I keep incentivizing people to use it for good rather than for bad.
As a journalist, do you think at the end of the day, Bitcoin's going to win?
It's going to be dependent on the people. I hope so, and I hope it's used as a tool for good. But it could also win. It could be used as a tool for something nefarious, for something bad as well. Russia, Venezuela, they're also talking about doing their own kind of Bitcoin central bank digital currency as well. Their own kind of cryptocurrency, excuse me. Don't want to get in that debate, but they're doing their own government-backed cryptos as well. So if it does win, I think it might also coincide with the old system kind of crashing and going down, which a lot of signs are showing that that's the road that we're headed on right now. And if the old system comes down, if this new system is going to be implemented, I just hope there's going to be good people, good institutions that use it for good. But it's a technology. It's just like the internet. Internet, great, amazing, allows free speech. Also, a lot of it is pornography. A lot of it destroys the minds of young children and dopamine and people's dopamine receptors and destroys relationships and families. So give and take. It's a technology. It's a tool. Let's use it for good. Let's use it not for porn. Let's use it for free speech. Let's use it for good stuff. And I think that's the way forward.
That is super true. I feel like with all the other cryptocurrencies now, every government wants to make their own Bitcoin.
And they are. And they are in so many different ways.